Hello students, so we are going to discuss chemistry advanced paper 1. Okay, so see, the first question is the correct set of quantum number NLMS for the last electron of rubidium plus. Last electron of rubidium plus is, so we know that rubidium is an alkali metal. Okay, so first of all we'll write group 1 elements are hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium and francium. Okay, so we know that rubidium is an alkali metal, and also the elements in the same group have similar configuration, right? So if we write the configuration of lithium, it will be 1s2 2s1. Okay, outermost cell electronic configuration will be 2s1. So other elements which are belonging to the same group will also have similar configuration. So what will be the configuration of sodium? 3s1, potassium 4s1, rubidium 5s1, cesium 6s1, francium 7s1, right? So elements in the same group have similar configuration. This is the concept. Okay, right? So we had to write the quantum numbers for rubidium, right? Now see, if we write the electronic configuration of rubidium, atomic number is 37, right? So it will be argon 18, 3d10, 4s2, 4p6 and 5s1. This is rubidium. Rubidium plus will be, this will be same, 4s2, 4p6 and 5s0, right? So last electron of rubidium plus is, it belongs to p subcell. Last electron of rubidium plus belongs to p subcell and it enters in fourth cell. Okay, लास्ट इलेक्ट्रॉन आपका कौन से सेल में एंटर हो रहा है? फोर्थ सेल में. So n value, principal quantum number will be 4. What will be the value of L? Since the last electron enters in p subcell, so for p subcell L value is 1. Okay, since the last electron enters in 4p, so n value will be 4, L value will be 1. What will be the possible values of ml? We see the ml, so we don't know which one is last electron among these. Okay, we have flexibility in that. Okay, it may be -1, 0 or +1. Last electron can enter in any of the orbitals. We have flexibility. Okay, so m values may be 0 or 1 or 0 +1 or -1. Similarly, s also has flexibility. It can be +½ or -½ So n value, principal quantum number should be 4, azimuthal quantum number L should be 1. So according to this, the most appropriate option, correct option is C. So C is the correct option, right? So now we will go to second question. See, second question is related to concentration dilution, right? So if 500 ml of a 5 molar solution is diluted to 1500 ml, what will be the molarity of the solution obtained? Okay, so we are doing dilution here, right? So 500 ml, we have 500 ml 5 molar solution and we are diluting it. Okay, we are diluting it, means addition of water, we are adding water to 1500 ml. We have to find the final molarity. Okay, now we know that during dilution number of moles of solute remain constant, right? So number of moles of solute before mixing, because we are adding solvent water, so number of moles of solute will be same. will be equal to number of moles of solute after dilution or after mixing, right? Or we can say that number of moles molarity into volume. Initial molarity into initial volume must be equal to product of final molarity into final volume. Okay. So MIVI initial molarity, MFVF is product of final molarity final volume, right? Initial molarity is 5, initial volume is 500 ml, final molarity we have to find out, final volume is 1500 ml. So from here we can find out final molarity after mixing. So it will be 1.66 molar, right? So correct option is B. B is the correct option, right? See the next question. Question number 43. So what is total mass of products found when 34 gram of H2S hydrogen sulfide is oxidized by excess of oxygen gas to produce water and sulfur dioxide? So first of all we will write the balanced chemical reaction. H2S plus 3 by 2 O2 gives H2O plus SO2. This is balanced chemical reaction, right? Now it is given that oxygen is excess. Oxygen is present in excess. Okay. So here oxygen is present in excess. So that means this is excess reagent and H2 is limiting reagent. Now the formation of product is always decided by limiting reagent. That is H2S will decide how many moles of water and sulfur dioxide will be formed, right? So mass of H2S is given 34 gram. Okay, so we will find number of moles, mass given upon molar mass, so it will be 1. So we have 1 mole of H2S initially and O2 is in excess, right? This is at T is equal to 0 initial condition. At the end of reaction, what will happen, since H2S is limiting reagent, so it will be completely consumed, right? We have to find total mass of product, right? So from the balanced chemical reaction, 1 mole of H2S gives 1 mole of water. So if 1 mole of H2S will be consumed, we'll get 1 mole of water as well as 1 mole of sulfur dioxide, right? So what will be the weight of water? Number of moles into molar mass of water 18, so it will be 18 gram. Similarly, weight of sulfur dioxide gas will be number of moles into molar mass of SO2 is 64. So total mass of product, we have to find out total mass of product, so it will be 82 gram, right? We'll get 82 gram. So C option is correct. Question number 44. Which graph shows how the energy of photon is related to wavelength? So energy, we have to find the relation between energy and wavelength. So we'll write formula. Energy of photon is equal to hc upon lambda. Okay, from here you can write energy is inversely proportional to wavelength. That means if wavelength will increase, energy will decrease. Wavelength will increase, wavelength of light will increase, energy of photon is going to decrease, right? Now see, we will see one by one. In the first graph, see, if wavelength increases, wavelength is on x-axis, wavelength increase हो रहा है, तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, एनर्जी भी इंक्रीज हो रहा है. ओके, बट हमें क्या करना, वेवलेंथ इंक्रीज होने से एनर्जी डिक्रीज होनी चाहिए. करेक्ट रिलेशन ऐसा है. तो फर्स्ट ऑप्शन आपका इनकरेक्ट हो गया, क्योंकि यहाँ पे डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल का रिलेशन है, बट एक्चुअल में एनर्जी एंड वेवलेंथ के बीच में आपका इन्वर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल रिलेशन होता है, राइट? सेकंड ग्राफ में भी ऐसा ही कुछ दिख रहा है कि अगर आप वेवलेंथ बढ़ा रहे हैं तो एनर्जी इंक्रीज हो रहा है, सो इट इज ऑल्सो नॉट करेक्ट. थर्ड ग्राफ में भी ऐसा ही कुछ हो रहा है, वेवलेंथ इंक्रीज करने से एनर्जी क्या हो रहा है, इंक्रीज हो रहा है. थर्ड इज ऑल्सो नॉट करेक्ट. इफ यू सी फोर्थ ग्राफ, यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, वेवलेंथ इंक्रीज करने से एनर्जी डिक्रीज हो रहा है, राइट? एनर्जी डिक्रीज, so fourth one is correct. So by increasing wavelength, energy will decrease. Inversely proportional relation, fourth option is correct. I hope it is clear, right? So see the next question. Next question is, if the kinetic energy of an electron is made 0.5 times half time, then its de Broglie's wavelength would become. So first of all, we'll write the relation between de Broglie wavelength and kinetic energy. So lambda is equal to h upon root under 2m ke. Okay, ये relation हमने derive किया था class में, right? So this is de Broglie wavelength in terms of kinetic energy. De Broglie wavelength in terms of kinetic energy, right? So from here we can write lambda is inversely proportional to kinetic energy, right? So अभी यहाँ पे क्या कर रहे हैं बेटा, हम लोग काइनेटिक एनर्जी को हाफ कर रहे हैं, राइट? सो अगर काइनेटिक एनर्जी को आपने हाफ कर दिया, हाफ टाइम्स कर दिया, तो ये हाफ आपका इस तरह से आप लिख सकते हैं, √2 डिवाइडेड बाई के ई. ओके, हाफ न्यूमरेटर में जाएगा, सो इट विल बी अंडर √2 डिवाइडेड बाई के. सो व्हाट वी कैन राइट, लैम्डा will become √2 times or 1.414 times, right? So if we half the kinetic energy, we are going to half kinetic energy, then wavelength क्या हो जाएगा आपका 1.414 times हो जाएगा, right? So correct option is second option is correct, right? See the next question. Next question is the amount of arsenic pentasulfide that can be obtained when 35.5 gram arsenic acid is treated with excess of H2S in the presence of conc HCl. So first of all, we'll write balanced chemical reaction. So H3ASO4 reacts with H2S in presence of hydrochloric acid. It gives arsenic pentasulfide, AH2S5, right? This reaction is already balanced and it is given that H2S is present in excess amount, right? No, this is not balanced and we don't need to balance this, okay? क्योंकि हम लोग यहाँ पे POSC लगाने वाले हैं, रिएक्शन बैलेंस नहीं है, हम लोग POSC लगाने वाले. तो POSC में आपको पता है प्रिंसिपल ऑफ एटम कंजर्वेशन में बैलेंस करने की जरूरत नहीं होती आपको, राइट? तो इसलिए हमें बैलेंस करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. ओके, सो 35.5 ग्राम ऑफ आर्सेनिक एसिड इज गिवन. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल विल कैलकुलेट नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ऑफ आर्सेनिक एसिड, बिकॉज हम लोग वेट से डायरेक्टली रिलेट नहीं कर सकते, राइट? सो हमेशा हमें नंबर ऑफ मोल से ही रिलेट करते हैं रिएक्टेंट एंड प्रोडक्ट को, डायरेक्टली वेट से रिलेट नहीं कर सकते, राइट? सो 35.5 डिवाइडेड बाय मोलर मास ऑफ H2ASO4 इज 142, सो यू विल गेट 1/4 मोल. Right now what you have to do is apply POAC on arsenic atom, right? So what you can write, number of moles of arsenic atoms in left hand side must be equal to number of moles of arsenic atoms in right hand side, right? Number of moles of arsenic atom in left hand side will be 1 into number of moles of H3ASO4, because 1 mole of H3ASO4 contain 1 arsenic atom, is equal to number of moles of arsenic atom on right hand side. We can write 2 into number of moles of AH2S5, because 1 mole of AH2S5 contain 2 moles of arsenic atoms, right? So we have multiplied by 2. यहाँ पे number of moles of H3ASO4 we have already calculated 1/4 is equal to 2 times of number of moles of AH2S5. So from here we can calculate number of moles of AH2S5 will be equal to 1/8 mole or 0.125 mole, right? So we have applied principle of atom conservation, so we got 0.125 mole. So second option is correct, right? So now we will see next problem. Next question is 47. 2.6 gram of a mixture of calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate strongly heated so that weight of residue is 1.3 gram. Which are the following weight expresses the weight of calcium carbonate in the original mixture? Okay, so we have given the weight of mixture is 2.6 gram and weight of residue. Okay, so what do you mean by residue? Weight of residue means solid substance. ओके, सो जब हमने कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट मैग्नीशियम कार्बोनेट को हीट किया है तो CO2 तो आपका स्केप कर जाएगा, राइट? CO2 इज गैस. सो वेट ऑफ रेसिड्यू मीन्स वेट ऑफ सॉलिड सब्सटेंस, दैट इज weight of calcium oxide plus weight of magnesium oxide. So according to question, weight of residue is given, that means weight of calcium oxide plus weight of magnesium oxide is given 1.3 gram. Okay, so we will use this. Now see, we have to find the weight of calcium carbonate in the original mixture. So we'll write the reaction. Calcium carbonate solid on heating gives calcium oxides solid plus CO2 gas. Let X gram, and second reaction is, first we'll write second reaction also. Magnesium carbonate on heating gives magnesium oxide plus CO2 gas, right? Now let us consider that X gram of calcium carbonate is present. So total weight of mixture is 2.6 gram. What will be the weight of magnesium carbonate? 2.6 minus X, right? So just now I have told you that हम लोग weight से कभी भी reactant और product को relate नहीं कर सकते हैं, right? So we have to calculate number of moles. So number of moles will be mass given divided by molar mass of calcium carbonate is 100. Okay. Similarly, number of moles of magnesium carbonate will be 2.6. This is mass divided by molar mass. If you will find molar mass, you will get 84, right? So these are the respective moles. Now, according to balanced chemical reaction, 1 mole of calcium carbonate give 1 mole of calcium oxide. So X by 100 moles of calcium carbonate will give X by 100 moles of calcium oxide. Similarly, 1 mole of magnesium carbonate gives 1 mole of magnesium oxide. So 2.6 minus X divided by 84 moles of magnesium carbonate will give same amount of magnesium oxide. Now we have one relation according to question. So this is, we have calculated number of moles of calcium oxide and number of moles of magnesium oxide. Now what will be the weight of calcium oxide? This will equal to number of moles of calcium oxide into molar mass, right? So it will equal to number of moles of calcium oxide X by 100 into molar mass of calcium oxide, that is 56. Similarly, what will be weight of magnesium oxide? Number of moles of magnesium oxide into its molar mass. Number of moles of magnesium oxide we have calculated, 2.6 minus X divided by 84 into molar mass of magnesium oxide. Okay, so it will be 40. Now from this relation, okay, so what we can write, weight of calcium oxide plus magnesium oxide is 1.3. So we will write X by 100 into 56 plus 2.6 minus X divided by 84 into 40 will be equal to 1.3. So from here solve for X. You can easily solve for X. So you'll get 0.75 gram, right? So this X 0.75 gram is, this is the weight of calcium carbonate which we have considered. X is the weight of calcium carbonate in the mixture. So weight of calcium carbonate in the mixture will be 0.75 gram. Correct option is 4. Okay, so this is mixture analysis problem. We have did such type of problems in class. Okay, now see the next question. Next question is, equal weight of chromium and oxygen are allowed to combine to each other to produce Cr2O3. Okay, so first of all we have to find limiting reagent, excess reagent. Okay, so first of all we will write balanced chemical reaction. Chromium plus oxygen reacts, it will be Cr2O3. Okay, this is the balanced chemical reaction. According to question, chromium and oxygen, equal weight of chromium and oxygen are reacting. So let the weight is W gram, right? So we'll find initial moles. We'll find T is equal to 0 means initial moles, or we can write like this: N naught means initial moles. So initial moles will be weight divided by molar mass of chromium 52, weight divided by molar mass of oxygen is 32. So this is initial moles. Okay, now we will see which is limiting reagent. So how to find limiting reagent? Limiting reagent क्या करते हैं? number of moles divided by stoichiometry. इस तरह से करते हैं, number of moles. अगर हम क्रोमियम के लिए निकालें, okay, we'll write here. Okay, so number of moles divided by stoichiometry, right? So it will be W by 52 divided by 4. So after solving we'll get W by 208, right? This is moles by stoichiometry for chromium. Similarly, we will find moles by stoichiometry for oxygen. So it will be W by 32 divided by 3. So after solving we'll get W by 96. Now whichever is less, that will be the limiting reagent. So it is clearly visible that chromium is less. So जब हम लोग मोल्स और स्टोकियोमेट्री को डिवाइड कर रहे हैं, so chromium के लिए लेस आ रहा है मोल्स बाय स्टोकियोमेट्री का रेशियो. So chromium will be Lr and O2 is excess reagent here. Now the formation of product will be decided by Lr only, right? So at the end of reaction, n end means number of moles at the end of reaction. Limiting reagent completely consume हो जाते हैं, so 0 इसका moles बचेंगे, right? What will be the moles of O2 reacted or left? Moles of O2 left will be W by 32, ये आपका initial moles था, minus stoichiometry of O2 that is 3 divided by stoichiometry of chromium that is 4 multiplied by number of moles of limiting reagent that is W by 52. Okay, so this is the number of moles of O2 left and number of moles of O2 reacted is this much, right? So when you will solve, you will get W by 32 minus, you can write 3W upon 208. This is number of moles of oxygen left. Okay, we will write this. This is number of moles of O2 left after reaction. Now we will see number of moles of Cr2O3 produced. So stoichiometry of Cr2O3, that is 2 divided by stoichiometry of limiting reagent is 4 multiplied by number of moles of limiting reagent consumed, that is number of moles of limiting reagent consumed in this reaction is W upon W by 52, right? W by 52, see this, W by 52, right? So what will be the weight of Cr2O3? Weight of Cr2O3 will be W by 52 into 2 multiplied by its molar mass, 152, right? Number of moles multiplied by molar mass. So we'll get 19W divided by 13. This is the weight of Cr2O3 produced, right? Now we will find fraction of, how to find fraction of excess reagent left. So fraction of excess reagent left means number of moles of excess reagent left, that is W by 32 minus 3W by 208 divided by initial moles of ER. Initial moles of excess reagent oxygen is W by 32. फ्रैक्शन निकालना तो 100 से मल्टीप्लाई नहीं करेंगे, अगर हमें परसेंट निकालना होता तो 100 से मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ता. सो आफ्टर सॉल्विंग विल गेट W एंड W कैंसिल हो जाएगा, राइट? सो विल गेट 7 by 13. So fraction of excess reagent left will be 7 by 13, right? Similarly, weight of Cr2O3 produced is equal to 19W. We have calculated 19W divided by 13 from here, right? So we can write like this: 19 by 13 times of what is W? W is mass of O2 taken. Mass of O2 taken is W. So we can write 19 by 13 times of mass of mass of oxygen taken, right? So what are the correct options? No mass of chromium and oxygen is left unreacted, so this is not correct, right? Because mass of chromium is left, right? So first one is not correct. Chromium metal is limiting reagent, so we have find out here chromium is limiting reagent, so this is correct. Fraction of excess reagent left is 7/13, this is also correct. The mass of Cr2O3 is 15/13 times the mass of oxygen taken initially. This is not correct because it should be 19/13 times. Okay, so fourth one is wrong. So correct option is 2 and 3. Second one is correct, right? So I hope it is clear to all of you. Next question is the interesting question. Human lungs can absorb 9 gram oxygen per hour if all oxygen atoms are converted to carbohydrates. जब भी इस टाइप का क्वेश्चन हो कि all atoms are converted to some particular compound और molecule, तो यहाँ पे आपको POSC लगाना है, इनडायरेक्टली आपको POSC लगाने के लिए बोल रहा है, राइट? इस टाइप की प्रॉब्लम में हमें POSC लगाना होता है, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ एटम कंजर्वेशन. So see, oxygen is getting converted into carbohydrate, right? And the carbohydrate here is glucose, C6H12O6. So suppose x gram of oxygen is taken, and if we find the molar mass of glucose, you will get 180 gram per mole. Molar mass of glucose is 180 gram per mole, right? Now see, we'll write let x mass of oxygen is required, okay, or we can say let mass of oxygen required be x gram. Okay, so human lungs can absorb 9 gram oxygen per hour. All oxygen atoms are converted to carbohydrate. How long will it take to produce 540 gram C6H12O6? Okay, so we require 540 gram C6H12O6. Okay, 540 gram of C6H12O6 glucose should be produced. So let x mass of oxygen required is x gram. Then apply principle of atom conservation on oxygen atom. So what is principle of atom conservation? Number of moles of oxygen on the left hand side must be equal to number of moles of oxygen on the right hand side, because atoms can't be created nor be destroyed, right? Number of moles of oxygen in the left hand side, we can write 2 into number of moles of oxygen, 2 into number of moles of oxygen. Similarly, number of moles of oxygen on the right hand side, we can write 6 times number of moles of glucose, C6H12O6. एटॉमिसिटी से मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया, राइट? तो नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ऑफ ऑक्सीजन on the right hand side will be 6 times number of moles of glucose, right? So it will be 2 into number of moles of oxygen. Mass given is x gram, we have considered x gram, divided by molar mass 32. 6 into number of moles of glucose, so we have to 540 gram we want to produce, right? So 540 divided by molar mass 180. So solve here, you will get 288 gram. So x will be 280 gram, that means 288 gram, right? That means mass of oxygen required is 288 gram, right? So for the production of, see, for the production of 540 gram of glucose, 288 gram of oxygen is required, right? Now see what we have to calculate. How long will it take to produce 540 gram of C6H12O6? So we have calculated mass of oxygen required. Now see, 9 gram oxygen is 9 gram oxygen per hour. Human lungs can absorb 9 gram oxygen per hour. So in 1 hour 9 gram oxygen is absorbed. Okay, so how much time it will take? Time taken will be 288 gram. How much hour it will take to absorb 288 gram? So 288 gram divided by 9, that is it will take 32 hours, right? So in 1 hour 9 gram oxygen is absorbed, so 288 gram of oxygen will be absorbed in 32 hours, which is required for the production of 540 gram glucose or carbohydrate in the human body, right? I hope it is clear to all of you, right? So we'll see next question. Next question is 27 gram of SO2Cl2 is reacted with excess NaOH. The difference between mass of product is asked. Okay, so first of all we'll write balanced chemical reaction. SO2Cl2 reacts with 4 moles of NaOH to give sodium sulfate plus 2 moles of NaCl plus 2 moles of water. Right? SO2Cl2 reacts with 4 mole of NaOH to give 1 mole of sodium sulfate, 2 mole of NaCl, 2 moles of water. This is balanced chemical reaction. According to question, it is given that NaOH is in excess, right? So NaOH is excess reagent here, and what will be limiting reagent? SO2Cl2 is limiting reagent as it is given in question. Okay. So first of all we will find, I already told you that कभी भी हम ग्राम से डायरेक्टली रिलेट नहीं करते हैं रिएक्ट एंड प्रोडक्ट. वी हैव टू फाइंड नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ऑफ SO2Cl2. So it will be mass given 27 kg, so we are converted into gram divided by 135 is the molar mass of SO2Cl2. So after solving you will get 200, right? So 200 is the number of moles of SO2Cl2 that is taken initially, right? Now the formation of product will be decided by limiting reagent, that is SO2Cl2. According to reaction, 1 mole of SO2Cl2 gives 1 mole of sodium sulfate and 2 moles of NaCl. So we have to find the mass difference between product Na2SO4 and NaCl. So see how to solve this. Number of moles of Na2SO4 will be same according to balanced chemical reaction. They are present in 1:1 ratio. So 200. So what will be weight of Na2SO4? You have to multiply it by molar mass of Na2, respective molar mass, that is 142. So you will get 28,400 gram after solving, right? Similarly, find number of moles of NaCl. Number of moles of NaCl will be double of number of moles of SO2Cl2. So it will be 200 into 2, that is 400 moles. So from here we can calculate number of moles of NaCl. So it will be 400 into molar mass of NaCl 58.5. So after solving you will get 23,400 gram, right? We have to find mass difference. Okay, so what will be mass difference? Na2SO4 minus weight of NaCl. So after solving you will get, and we will convert in kg because options are given in kg. So convert in kg, you have to divide by 1000, so you will get 5 kg. So mass difference between product is 5 kg. So option C is correct. Okay, is it clear? So I hope it is clear. See the next question. Next question is also interesting question. A person takes 6.1 gram of antacid tablet comprising of bicarbonate ions. Okay, so antacid contains bicarbonate ion, and their bicarbonate ions are converting into carbonate ion, right? So the volume of CO2 evolved at 1 atm, and this in stomach is asked, right? How much volume will be evolved in stomach? This is asked. So first of all, we will find number of moles of CO2 that is produced, right? So if we find the number of moles of CO2, after that we will apply PV is equal to nRT. Okay. So first of all, our target is find the find volume of CO2 that is evolved, right? Okay, so we'll find number of moles of CO2 that is evolved. We have to find this, and from this we will get volume of CO2 by using PV is equal to nRT. This is the concept we have to use, right? So bicarbonate ions are converting into carbon dioxide. Okay, mass of bicarbonate is given 6.1 gram, right? So number of moles of bicarbonate will okay. So we have to convert it weight into number of moles. So just divide by molar mass. Molar mass of bicarbonate is 61. Okay. So see, by negative charge it will not affect on molar mass, right? Negative charge आने से molar mass पे कोई effect नहीं पड़ेगा. This is the number of moles of bicarbonate, but it is 20% by weight. Okay, so all the 6.1 ग्राम, जो भी यहाँ पे 6.1 ग्राम है, ये 6.1 ग्राम टोटल बाइकार्बोनेट नहीं है. ओके, जो एंटासिड टैबलेट लिया है उसमें 6.1 ग्राम का 20% ही बाइकार्बोनेट है. 100% बाइकार्बोनेट नहीं है एंड 80% अदर सब्सटेंसेस है. यहाँ पे हमें 6.1 ग्राम जो हमने लिया है इसका 20% जो आपका वेट ऑफ बाइकार्बोनेट होगा. 80% समथिंग एल्स इज प्रेजेंट इन दैट. ओके, सो 6.1 multiplied by 20 divided by 100. You have to find the weight. Actual weight will be 20% of 6.1, right? So after that we will divide by molar mass, so we will get 0.02 moles, right? I hope you got the concept that 20% of bicarbonates are present in the antacid tablet and 80% some other components are present. Okay, and that other components will not evolve CO2. We are interested in bicarbonate, so we have multiplied by 20, right? Now according to this reaction we can see that 1 mole of bicarbonate gives 1 mole of carbon dioxide. So whatever is the moles of bicarbonate, that will be the number of moles of CO2 also. So here, from here we have calculated number of moles of CO2. Now we will apply PV is equal to nRT to find the volume of CO2 at that respective pressure and temperature, right? So pressure is 1 atm, it is given, into volume of CO2. This we have to find. Number of moles we have calculated 0.02 into R value is 1 by 12 or 0.08 also we can take, into temperature in Kelvin. 25 degrees Celsius is 298 Kelvin. So from here we will solve for volume of CO2, so we will get 0.49 liter. We have to report 10, we have to multiply by 10. Okay, so what will be the value of 10 into 10V? 10V will be 4.9 liter. Nearest integer will be 5. Okay, we can write 5 liter. So correct option will be 5. So we have to report 5 in the end. Okay, so bicarbonates are converting into carbon dioxide after going in stomach. So first of all we have calculated number of moles of carbon dioxide, then used PV is equal to nRT to find volume of carbon dioxide. Right, I think it is clear. See, we will go to next question. Next question is cyanide ion. It is just balancing of reaction. Cyanide ion is oxidized by powerful oxidizing agents like nitrate ion and carbon dioxide or carbonate ion. The reaction is given. You have to balance the reaction and find the number of moles of electrons involved in the reaction. So it's very simple question. So cyanide ion gives CO2 plus nitrate ion plus H plus. Okay, we had to balance this reaction. Okay, so balancing के लिए सबसे पहले हम लोग अदर एटम्स को बैलेंस करते हैं अदर देन ऑक्सीजन एंड हाइड्रोजन. तो कार्बन ऑलरेडी बैलेंस, नाइट्रोजन ऑलरेडी बैलेंस्ड, ऑक्सीजन बैलेंस करेंगे. राइट हैंड साइड में ऑक्सीजन कितने हैं? 5. सो ऑक्सीजन बैलेंस करते हैं हम लोग वाटर की हेल्प से, तो 5 वाटर मॉलिक्यूल रखेंगे. देन हम लोग हाइड्रोजन बैलेंस करेंगे. राइट साइड में, लेफ्ट साइड में हाइड्रोजन कितने हो गए? 5 × 2 10. तो यहाँ पे हमें 10 से मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा, 10H प्लस. एंड लास्ट में हम लोग चार्ज बैलेंस करते हैं. So if you see here, कार्बन, नाइट्रोजन, ऑक्सीजन, हाइड्रोजन ऑलरेडी बैलेंस हो चुके हैं. लास्ट में हम लोग चार्ज बैलेंस करते हैं. चार्ज कैसे बैलेंस करेंगे? देखिए यहाँ पे राइट हैंड साइड में कितना चार्ज है? 10 यूनिट ऑफ पॉजिटिव चार्ज -1, दैट इज +9. लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में -1 चार्ज है. चार्ज बैलेंस करने के लिए हम लोग क्या करेंगे? अगर हम 10 इलेक्ट्रॉन इधर ऐड कर दें, चार्ज इज बैलेंस्ड विद द हेल्प ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन, राइट. 10 इलेक्ट्रॉन इधर ऐड कर दें, सो -10 विल बी -1. So both sides will be -1, right. तो चार्ज बैलेंस करने के लिए हमने 10 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स ऐड किया है. So this is the balanced chemical equation, right. So we have to report number of electrons, n value, after dividing by 10. So if you will divide by 10 you will get 1, right. We have to divide by 10 also. Give your answer after dividing by 10. Correct answer will be 1. Next question is, X gram of Fe2 ferric sulfate were dissolved in water to prepare 500 ml of its aqueous solution. Upon analysis, it was found that each ml of the above solution contained this many ions. Okay, find the value of X. So, how much weight we have taken of ferric sulfate, it is asked, right? So, what we will do, first of all, we will find concentration of sulfate ion. So concentration of sulfate ion will be number of moles of sulfate ion divided by volume of solution in liters, right? So number of moles of sulfate ion in that particular 1 ml. We are calculating concentration of 1 ml. Okay, that 1 ml solution, right? So number of moles of sulfate ion present, it is given. This many sulfate ions are present, right? So we have to find number of moles, so just divide by Na. So 1.2 to 10 power minus 4 Na atoms, molecules of sulfate ions are present. So divided by Na, so you will get moles of sulfate ion, right? Divided by volume of solution. This is in this many ions are present in 1 ml. Okay, so what will be the volume of solution in liter? We have converted in liter, 1 ml to liter. So 10 power minus 3 से मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा, राइट? So यहाँ से आपका Na कैंसिल हो जाएगा, so you will get 1.2 into 10 power minus 1 molar. This is the concentration of sulfate ion. Then what will be the concentration of ferric sulfate? Ferric sulfate. So ferric sulfate कैसे बनेगा आपका? 3 सल्फेट आयंस मिलके 1 फेरिक सल्फेट मॉलिक्यूल का फॉर्मेशन करेंगे. See the atomicity. 3 sulfate ions combined together to form 1 molecule of ferric sulfate. That means what will be the concentration of ferric sulfate? Concentration of sulfate ion is given 1.2 into 10 power minus 1 divided by 3. Okay, 3 sulfate ion combine होके 1 molecule of ferric sulfate बनाएंगे. So you have to divide by 3. So it will be 0.04 molar, right? So from here we will calculate number of moles of ferric sulfate. Number of moles of ferric sulfate. So number of moles, how to find number of moles? Molarity into molarity we have find out already, into volume. Volume is 500 ml. Okay, we have prepared 500 ml. So this is half liter. So you will get 0.02 moles, right? So we had to find weight of ferric sulfate. So what will be weight of ferric sulfate? Number of moles into molar mass. Number of moles is 0.02 into molar mass of ferric sulfate. If you calculate molar mass of ferric sulfate, you will get 400. So after multiplying, you will get 8 gram. Okay. So we have to report this X. So X will be equal to 8. Right. This is the correct choice, right? So you have to report 8 in your answer. Okay, is it clear? So first of all we have calculated concentration of sulfate ion, divided by 3 कर दिया तो हमें concentration of ferric sulfate मिल गया, number of moles निकाला and molar mass से multiply कर दिया. So you got weight of ferric sulfate, right? Next question is, in how many of the compound are ion nitrogen shows positive oxidation state? तो देखिए ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट के लिए क्या बताया था मैंने आपको कि नाइट्रोजन अगर आपका मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव एटम से अगर अटैच है तो ये क्या करेगा, मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव एटम विड्रॉ कर लेगा इलेक्ट्रॉन को और नाइट्रोजन का पॉजिटिव ऑक्सीडेशन हो जाएगा एंड मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव एटम का नेगेटिव ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट हो जाएगा. दैट मीन्स व्हाट आई वांट टू से इज, जब भी नाइट्रोजन मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव एटम अपने से ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव एटम से अगर अटैच है तो वहां पे आपका नाइट्रोजन का पॉजिटिव ऑक्सीडेशन देखने को मिलेगा. अगर हम NH3 में देखें तो NH3 में हाइड्रोजन लेस इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव है, नाइट्रोजन मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव है, तो नाइट्रोजन का ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट क्या हो जाएगा, नेगेटिव हो जाएगा, -3 हियर, राइट. सो हमें ऐसे कंपाउंड्स यहाँ पे फाइंड आउट करने हैं जिनमें नाइट्रोजन से ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव एटम अटैच है, राइट. जैसे सोडियम NaN3 में भी क्या हो रहा है आपका, सोडियम क्या है आपका लेस इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव है, नाइट्रोजन मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव है, तो यहाँ पे भी नाइट्रोजन का नेगेटिव ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट आएगा. AlN में भी नेगेटिव आएगा. N2O में ऑक्सीजन मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव, तो यहाँ पे नाइट्रोजन का पॉजिटिव ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट आने वाला है. NF3 में फ्लोरीन मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव है, तो फ्लोरीन क्या करेगा, इलेक्ट्रॉन विड्रॉ करेगा नाइट्रोजन से. नाइट्रोजन का पॉजिटिव ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट मिल जाए। सो सिंपल सी बात है, हमें ऐसे कंपाउंड चूज करने जिसमें नाइट्रोजन मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव एटम से अटैच है। अगर नाइट्रोजन मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव एटम से अटैच होगा तो वहां पे क्या करेगा, पॉजिटिव ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट नाइट्रोजन शो करेगा, क्योंकि अदर एलिमेंट जो मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव एटम है नाइट्रोजन से वो विड्रॉ करेगा इलेक्ट्रॉन। तो अदर एलिमेंट के ऊपर नेगेटिव आएगा और नाइट्रोजन के ऊपर पॉजिटिव आएगा। तो यहाँ पे आपको बेसिकली ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट फाइंड आउट नहीं करना था, अदरवाइज इट विल टेक टाइम। तो आपको डायरेक्टली यही देखना था कि ऐसे कौन से कंपाउंड जिसमें नाइट्रोजन मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव एटम से अटैच है, राइट। HNO2 में भी नाइट्रोजन ऑक्सीजन से अटैच है, तो यहाँ पे पॉजिटिव ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट होगा। NH4 प्लस में क्या हो जाएगा, हाइड्रोजन लेस इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव है, नाइट्रोजन मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव है, तो नाइट्रोजन नेगेटिव। N2O3 ऑक्सीजन इज मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव, तो ऑक्सीजन नेगेटिव, नाइट्रोजन का पॉजिटिव ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट हो जाएगा। L3N में लिथियम से अटैच है, लिथियम इलेक्ट्रो पॉजिटिव होते हैं, तो नाइट्रोजन इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव होंगे, नेगेटिव चार्ज आएगा नाइट्रोजन के ऊपर। Mg3N2 मेटल से अटैच है, मेटल्स आर इलेक्ट्रो पॉजिटिव, नाइट्रोजन मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव, नाइट्रोजन विल हैव नेगेटिव ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट। NaNO3 again nitrogen attached to oxygen, so here also NaNO3 आप कैसे लिखेंगे, डिजोल्व करेंगे वाटर में, so you will get Na plus and NO3 minus nitrate ion. So let the oxidation state of nitrogen is X, so X plus 3 into minus 2 is equal to minus 1. So what will be the oxidation state of nitrogen, minus 1 plus 6, that is plus 5. Okay, so that's why I told you that अगर नाइट्रोजन आपका मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव एटम से अटैच है लाइक ऑक्सीजन, तो वहाँ पे पॉजिटिव ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट आपको मिलेगा। N2O5 में भी ऑक्सीजन से अटैच है मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव, यहाँ पे नाइट्रोजन पॉजिटिव ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट शो करेगा। सो व्हाट आर द करेक्ट ऑप्शंस, we will choose the correct option. First one is incorrect, second negative, third negative, fourth में आपका पॉजिटिव मिल रहा है, then fifth, sixth, seventh is showing negative, eighth is showing positive, so 8, then 9th negative, 10th negative, 11th positive, and 12 also positive. Okay, so how many compounds are there which are showing positive oxidation state? 3 plus 3, that is 6. Correct answer is 6. Okay, so the simple concept is, if nitrogen is attached to more electronegative atom, nitrogen will show positive oxidation state. Okay, so the next question is, let masses of proton, alpha particle and electron as 1 AMU, U means AMU, okay, 1 U or 1 AMU, both are same. Okay, AMU is also called as unified mass. Okay, so 1 U and 1 AMU both are same. So mass of proton is 1 AMU, mass of alpha particle is 4 AMU, mass of electron is given 0.005 AMU, right, respectively. So you have to calculate this x, y, z, right, like that, p, q, r, right. So first of all we will calculate x, y, z value, and then we will put in this, right, equation, right. So what will be the value of x? X is mass of 2 mole proton. Okay, mass of 2 moles proton. So mass of single proton is 1 AMU. So what will be mass of 2 mole proton? 2 into Na into 1 AMU, right. Are you getting this? Mass of single proton is 1 AMU. So what will be mass of 2 moles of proton? 2 into Na into 1 AMU. Now see, इंपॉर्टेंट बात ये है यहाँ पे बेटा, आपको ये ध्यान रखना है कि 1 AMU इज ऑल्सो इक्वल टू 1 बाई Na ग्राम। जब आप 1 ग्राम को Na से डिवाइड करेंगे, सो यू विल गेट 1 AMU, राइट। 1 डिवाइडेड बाई Na इज 6.022 into 10 power 23, राइट। सो 1 बाई 6.022 into 10 power 23 करेंगे, सो यू विल गेट 1 AMU। 1 AMU इज 1.6 into 10 power minus 24 ग्राम, राइट। सो सेम यहाँ पे सेम कॉन्सेप्ट यूज करना है आपको, दैट 1 AMU इज 1 बाई Na ग्राम, राइट। सो Na को जब आप 1 AMU से मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे, सो व्हाट यू विल गेट, Na into 1 AMU, this will be 1 gram, okay, this will be 2 gram. So x value is 2 gram. So here you have to use this concept that Na into 1 AMU or Na into 1 U will be equal to 1 gram, right? Similarly, we will find the value of y. So what will be the value of y? Y is mass of 1 by 4 moles of alpha particle. So what will be the mass of 1 by 4 moles of alpha particle? 1 by 4 into Na into mass of 1 alpha particle. Mass of 1 alpha particle is 4 mu, right? So 4 and 4 cancel. Again Na into mu. Na into mu is equal to 1 gram. So you'll get 1 gram, right? Next is we have to find value of Z. Z is mass of 4000 Na electrons. Okay, so 4000 into Na into mass of 1 electron, right? So 4000 into Na into mass of 1 electron is given 0.0005 mu, right? Now see, Na into mu is 1 gram, and if you will multiply, you will get 2 gram. Na into mu is 1 gram, right? Similarly, we have to find the value of P. What is P? P is charge on 1.5 moles of protons, right? So proton is H plus. Proton is H plus. What is charge present on one proton? We will write 1e. If it is asked that what is charge present on 1 mole proton? 1 mole proton. So it will be 1 Faraday. Okay. Charge present on 1 mole proton is 1 Faraday, because 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 को जब हम Na से multiply करेंगे, so you will get 1 Faraday, 96,500 coulomb, right? So charge on 1.5 moles proton, we can write 1.5 into Na into charge on 1 proton, charge on 1 proton. This is the charge on single proton. Okay, so from here we can write 1.5 into Na को जब आप charge on proton is 1.6 into 10 minus 19, right? So Na को 1.6 into 10 minus 19 से multiply करेंगे, so you will get 1 Faraday. Okay, so what is 1 Faraday actually? 1 Faraday, I will write here. 1 Faraday, what is 1 Faraday? 1 Faraday is charge present on 1 mole electrons or 1 mole protons. Okay, 1 Faraday is charge present on 1 mole electrons or 1 mole protons, right? So 1.5 mole charge present on 1.5 mole of proton will be 1.5 Faraday, right? So 1p is 1.5. Similarly, we will calculate Q value. What will be Q? So see, Q is charge present on 0.25, that is 1 by 4 moles of alpha particle. What are alpha particle? Alpha particle are helium 2 plus. Alpha particle are helium 2 plus. So 1 mole of 1 alpha particle contain 2e of charge. 1 mole of alpha particle will contain 2 Faraday charge. Okay, right? So we have to calculate charge on 0.25 moles of alpha particle, right? So what we can write, 1 by 4 into charge present on 1 mole of alpha particle. 1 mole of alpha particle, it will contain how much charge? 2 Faraday. So 1.5 1 by 4 into 2 Faraday, that is we will get half Faraday. Similarly, we will find R. R is charge on 2 Na electrons. So charge on Na electrons is 1 Faraday. Just now I have written charge on 1 mole of electrons or 1 mole of protons is 1 Faraday. It is 1 Faraday. So charge on 2 moles of electron will be 2 Faraday, right? But the unit will it will be in negative, right? R will be minus 2 Faraday, क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रॉन पे नेगेटिव चार्ज होता है. प्रोटॉन्स एंड अल्फा पार्टिकल पे पॉजिटिव चार्ज होता है, तो वहाँ पे हम लोग प्लस में लेंगे फैराडे, इधर हम लोग माइनस में लेंगे, कंसीडरिंग साइन ऑल्सो, राइट. तो यहाँ से हम लोग क्या करेंगे, एक्स वाई जेड पी क्यू आर की वैल्यू हम लोग यहाँ पे पुट करेंगे. सो इफ यू विल पुट द वैल्यू यू विल गेट 4. ओके, सो करेक्ट आंसर विल बी 4. right? So you had to memorize this, that charge on 1 mole of electron or 1 mole of proton is 1 Faraday, which is 96,500 कूलम. और ये 1 मोल ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स पे चार्ज कैसे आएगा? चार्ज ऑन 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन मल्टीप्लाइड बाई नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, दैट इज 1.6 इंटू 10⁻19 को जब आप 6 इंटू 10⁻23 से मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे, यू विल गेट 1 फैराडे और 96,500 कूलम. See the next question. Next question is, in one experiment, a proton having kinetic energy of 1 eV, initial kinetic energy is 1 eV, is accelerated to potential difference of 3 volt. In another experiment, alpha particle having initial kinetic energy 20 eV is retarded. Retarded means deaccelerate किया है, स्पीड को कम किया है, राइट. तो फर्स्ट एक्सपेरिमेंट में हमने स्पीड को इंक्रीज किया है, सेकंड एक्सपेरिमेंट में हमने स्पीड को डिक्रीज किया है. कैलकुलेट द रेशियो ऑफ डी ब्रॉगली वेवलेंथ ऑफ अल्फा पार्टिकल एंड प्रोटॉन, राइट. So see, total kinetic energy of proton. What will be total kinetic energy of proton? Kinetic energy, initial kinetic energy plus kinetic energy gained by field. Kinetic energy gained by electric field. So initial kinetic energy is 1 eV plus kinetic energy gained by field is charge multiplied by potential, right? जब भी किसी चार्ज को आप इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड में रखते हैं तो कितना काइनेटिक एनर्जी वो गेन करता है? चार्ज मल्टीप्लाइड बाय पोटेंशियल, राइट. सो इट विल बी 1 प्लस चार्ज ऑन फॉर प्रोटॉन इट इज 1 E into V. Voltage we have applied 3 volt, so we'll get 4 eV. So 1 eV was initial kinetic energy plus 3 eV was the kinetic energy gained by electric field, right? So 1 eV initial kinetic energy, 3 eV, this is the kinetic energy gained by electric field. So total kinetic energy of proton will be 4 eV. Similarly, we will calculate total kinetic energy of alpha particle. This will be kinetic energy of initial kinetic energy plus काइनेटिक एनर्जी. हियर माइनस करेंगे हम लोग. माइनस क्यों कर रहे हैं? क्योंकि हमने रिटार्ड किया है. रिटार्ड मीन्स डी एसिलेट किया है, स्पीड को कम किया है, राइट. अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में हमने फील्ड लगाया है. तो अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में अगर आप फील्ड लगाएंगे तो क्या होगा? स्पीड कम होगा. तो यहाँ पे माइनस लगाएंगे, माइनस काइनेटिक एनर्जी बिकॉज ऑफ फील्ड. ओके, सो इनिशियल काइनेटिक एनर्जी ऑफ अल्फा पार्टिकल इज 20 eV minus again kinetic energy gained by field will be charge multiplied by potential. So it will be 20 minus charge on alpha particle is 2E into potential. How much potential we have applied? 2. So it will be 20 minus 4, that is 16 eV. So 4 eV was the kinetic energy of proton and total kinetic energy of alpha particle is 16 eV. Right? So I hope it is clear up to here. Now see, since lambda is equal to h upon root of 2m k into E, this is relation of de Broglie wavelength with respect to kinetic energy. Okay, relation between de Broglie wavelength and kinetic energy. So from here we can write lambda is inversely proportional to root of mass into kinetic energy, right. Since यहाँ पे आपका क्या हो रहा है? h and 2 constant है, तो हम लोग बेसिकली रेशियो निकालने वाले हैं. तो मैंने आपको क्लास में बताया था कि जब भी रेशियो निकालते हैं तो कांस्टेंट कैंसिल हो जाता है, तो हम लोग कांस्टेंट को इग्नोर करते हैं, राइट. तो व्हाट विल बी डी ब्रॉगली वेवलेंथ ऑफ प्रोटॉन डिवाइड बाय डी ब्रॉगली वेवलेंथ ऑफ अल्फा पार्टिकल अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस इक्वेशन. दे आर इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल टू रूट ऑफ मास एंड काइनेटिक एनर्जी. ओके, so what we can write, since they are inversely proportional, so mass of alpha particle divided by mass of proton into kinetic energy of alpha particle divided by kinetic energy of proton, inversely proportional to root of mass and kinetic energy, right. Is it clear? Now see, mass of alpha particle is 4 amu divided by mass of proton is 1 amu into kinetic energy of alpha particle is, we have calculated kinetic energy of alpha particle 16 eV, kinetic energy of proton is 4 eV. So if you will solve, you will get 4 by 1, right. This is root 4, 2 into 2, that is 4 by 1, or you will get correct option is 4, right. So see the next question. In a sample of hydrogen atoms, if all the electrons jump from n is equal to 5 to ground level, finally, directly or indirectly, without emitting any line, this is important, without emitting any line in Balmer series. So Balmer series में terminate नहीं करने चाहिए lines. That means we know that Balmer series terminate at n is equal to 2. तो यहाँ पे हमें जो भी लाइंस यहाँ पे हमें लाने हैं, इनमें इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जब आपका जंप कर रहा है हायर लेवल से लोअर लेवल में, तो n इज इक्वल टू 2 पे नहीं आना चाहिए. दैट मीन्स विदाउट n इज इक्वल टू 2 ट्रांजिशन वी हैव टू फाइंड नंबर ऑफ ट्रांजिशन जो 2 पे फॉल नहीं कर रहे हैं. ओके, 2 पे फॉल नहीं होना चाहिए, फिफ्थ लेवल से फर्स्ट लेवल पे आना है 2 पे बिना फॉल हुए. राइट, तो क्या पॉसिबिलिटी होंगी, देखिए आप इधर हम लोग यहाँ पे लेवल्स को बना लेते हैं. 5 फोर्थ लेवल, थर्ड लेवल, सेकेंड लेवल एंड दिस इज फर्स्ट लेवल. सो फिफ्थ लेवल से हमें फर्स्ट लेवल पे आना है. राइट, फिफ्थ लेवल से फर्स्ट लेवल पे इलेक्ट्रॉन को जंप करना है, बट सेकेंड लेवल पे नहीं आना चाहिए क्योंकि यहाँ पे बामर सीरीज पे टर्मिनेट नहीं होना चाहिए. अकॉर्डिंग टू क्वेश्चन बामर सीरीज आपका n इज इक्वल टू 2 होता है, 2 पे टर्मिनेट होता है. राइट, सो ट्रांजिशन कौन सा हो रहा है, 5 to 1. सो डेल्टा n की वैल्यू कितनी होगी, 4. सो मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ स्पेक्ट्रल लाइंस कितने होगी, सबसे पहले ये कैलकुलेट कर लेते हैं. मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ स्पेक्ट्रल लाइंस, maximum number of spectral lines will be delta n into delta n plus 1 divided by 2. So it will be 4 into 5 divided by 2, that is 10. So 10 lines maximum आएंगे, बट ये तो 10 लाइन 10 लाइन्स आ रहे हैं, इसमें आपका n इज इक्वल टू 2 पे जो फॉल हो रहे हैं वो भी आ रहे होंगे, बट हमें n इज इक्वल टू 2 वाले क्या करना है, यहाँ से सब्ट्रैक्ट करने हैं. ओके, सो n इज इक्वल टू 2 पे कौन कौन सी लाइन्स फॉल हो रहे होंगे, देखिए 5 से 2 पे आ सकते हैं, 4 से 2 पे आ सकते हैं, 3 से 2 पे आ सकते हैं, एंड 2 से जो 1 पे आ रहा है, अगर n इज इक्वल टू 2 पे नहीं आया इलेक्ट्रॉन, दैट मीन्स 2 से 1 वाली ट्रांजिशन भी नहीं हो सकती है. n इज इक्वल टू 2 पे अगर इलेक्ट्रॉन नहीं फॉल हुआ तो 2 से 1 वाली ट्रांजिशन भी नहीं होगी. सो हमें कितने ट्रांजिशन यहाँ पे सब्ट्रैक्ट करने, दीज लाइन्स आर नॉट पॉसिबल, दीज लाइन्स विल नॉट अकर. राइट, सो n इज इक्वल टू 2 पे जो आ रहे हैं इलेक्ट्रॉन्स वो हमें इग्नोर करना है क्योंकि बामर सीरीज पे टर्मिनेट नहीं होना चाहिए. राइट, सो अगर 2 पे नहीं आ रहा है तो 2 से 1 वाली भी हमें इग्नोर करनी पड़ेगी. तो 4 लाइन्स यहाँ से सब्ट्रैक्ट कर देंगे. तो यहाँ पे करेक्ट ऑप्शन जो आपका हो जाएगा, दैट विल बी, करेक्ट ऑप्शन विल बी, आई विल राइट हियर 10 minus 4, that is 6. Okay, so 6 is the correct answer. n is equal to 2 वाले सारे पॉसिबिलिटीज हमें सब्ट्रैक्ट करने थे. राइट, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज इन एन एटम टोटल नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैविंग क्वांटम नंबर n इज इक्वल टू 4. n इज इक्वल टू 4, सबसे पहले देख लेते हैं फोर्थ सेल में कौन कौन से सबसेल होंगे, 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f. राइट, 4s contain one orbital, sorry, we have to write like this, 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f. 4p contain 3 orbital, 4d contain 5 orbital, and 4f contain 7 orbitals. Okay, right, this is 4f. Now see, what will be the ml values? ml values for s, ml value is 0, for p -1, 0, +1, and we have flexibility in this, we can take -1 or +1, so it will be +1 or -1. For d, what will be value of ml, -1, -2, -1, 0, +1, +2. Again we have flexibility for these two, we can take plus minus. Similarly for 4f, what will be the value of ml, -3, -2, -1, 0, +1, +2 and +3. Because for f subcell the value of L is 3, for D subcell it is 2, for P subcell it is 1, S subcell it is 0. Right, So these are the ml values. Now we have to find total number of electrons having mod of ml is equal to 1. That means we have to consider ml, we have to consider that orbital having ml is equal to +1 as well as -1 also. So यहाँ पे कितने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हो जाएंगे, इधर मैं मार्क कर दे रहा हूँ. सपोज ऑल आर फुल्ली फिल्ड, राइट, ऑल आर फुल्ली फिल्ड. सो कौन कौन से ऑर्बिटल्स होंगे जिनके n इज इक्वल टू 4 होगा, ml इज इक्वल टू 1 होगा? दीज ऑर्बिटल्स, राइट. सो टोटल कितने ऑर्बिटल हो गए? 2 2 4 एंड 2 6. 6 ऑर्बिटल्स हैव n इज इक्वल टू 4, ml इज इक्वल टू 1 क्वांटम नंबर, राइट. बट यहाँ पे भी हमें क्या करना है, माइनस हाफ वाले कंसीडर करना है. तो सपोज यहाँ पे 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स थे, राइट. ये फुल्ली फिल्ड कॉन्फ़िगरेशन हम लोग एज्यूम करते हैं क्योंकि टोटल पॉसिबिलिटीज हमें निकालना, मैक्सिमम पॉसिबिलिटी निकालना है. ओके, वी हैव टू फाइंड मैक्सिमम पॉसिबिलिटी. तो मैक्सिमम पॉसिबिलिटी में हम लोग एज्यूम करेंगे कि सारे ऑर्बिटल फिल्ड है, राइट. तो यहाँ पे भी हमें ओनली माइनस हाफ वाले कंसीडर करने, राइट. सो टोटल ऑर्बिटल कितने हो गए थे हमारे पास? 1 2 3 4 5 6, 6 ऑर्बिटल. सो मैक्सिमम इलेक्ट्रॉन कितने हो जाएंगे? 6 इंटू 12. बट 12 में से भी हमें वी हैव टू consider only the electrons having s is equal to -half. So 12 divided by 2, that is we'll get 6 electron. बिकॉज ये जो हमने 12 इलेक्ट्रॉन निकालने, इसमें से 6 इलेक्ट्रॉन का स्पिन क्या होगा? +half होगा, एंड अदर 6 इलेक्ट्रॉन का स्पिन -half होगा. वी हैव टू कंसिडर ओनली दैट इलेक्ट्रॉन हैविंग स्पिन -half. सो करेक्ट आंसर इज 6, राइट. So I hope it is clear. See the next question. So in which orbit of hydrogen atom is the speed of electron is maximum, right? So we will write the formula for velocity of electron in nth orbit. This is velocity of electron in nth Bohr orbit. We have derived this formula in class, right? So it will be 2.18 into 10 to the power 8 Z upon n centimeter per second. Okay, 2.18 into 10 to the power 8 Z by n centimeter per second, right? So from here we can write velocity is inversely proportional to orbit number, right? Velocity is inversely proportional to orbit number for a given value of Z, and here Z is given 1, that is for hydrogen. So for a given value of n we can write, for a given value of Z we can write velocity is inversely proportional to orbit number. So as orbit number increases, velocity of electron decreases. As orbit number increases, velocity of electron decreases. That means जो न्यूक्लियस से क्लोजेस्ट होगा इलेक्ट्रॉन उसकी वेलोसिटी मैक्सिमम होगी, और जैसे जैसे हम न्यूक्लियस से दूर जाएंगे वेलोसिटी ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन क्या होगा? डिक्रीज होता जाएगा. ओके, so the orbit which is closest to the nucleus will have maximum velocity of electron, and the orbit, the electron which is present in or other orbits, its velocity will be decreased. Okay, so as n increases, velocity of electron decreases. जैसे जैसे हम न्यूक्लियस से दूर जाएंगे velocity of electron कम होता जाएगा, right? So maximum, which orbit maximum speed of electron? So n is equal to 1 will have maximum speed of electron. First orbit, so first orbit में जो electron present होगा उसकी maximum velocity होगी. See the last question. So equation is given x plus y gives x3 y4, right? So first of all we'll write the equation x plus y gives x3 y4. We'll balance this reaction because it is given non-balanced. So 3x plus 4y, it is balanced. So above reaction is carried out by taking 6 mole of x and 6 moles of y. So number of moles is given 6 and 6 initial moles. So at the end of reaction, first of all we have to calculate limiting reagent here. So limiting reagent कैसे calculate करेंगे हम? Number of moles divided by stoichiometry. So 6 divided by 3 for x, that is 2. Similarly number of moles divided by stoichiometry y के लिए करेंगे तो क्या आ जाएगा? 6 divided by 4, that is we'll get 1.5. So अब 1.5 and 2 which is less? तो नंबर ऑफ मोल्स डिवाइड बाय स्टोइकियोमेट्री करने पे जो लेस आ रहा है दैट विल बी लिमिटिंग रिएजेंट. दिस इज लेस, दैट मींस y is LR limiting reagent and X is excess reagent here, right? X is excess reagent, Y is limiting reagent. So limiting reagents are completely consumed. It will be 0 after the reaction. What will be the number of moles of product? So stoichiometry of product divided by stoichiometry of limiting reagent, that is 4 multiplied by number of moles of limiting reagent consumed. How many moles of number of moles of limiting reagent that is consumed here is 6. So after solving we'll get 1.5 moles of product that is formed. Similarly, 6 is the initial moles of X minus how many moles of excess reagent that will be reacted. So stoichiometry of excess reagent divided by stoichiometry of limiting reagent multiplied by number of moles of limiting reagent that is consumed. So from here you will get number of moles of X that is left unreacted after the reaction. After solving you get 1.5. So 1.5 moles of X and 1.5 moles of product. 1.5 moles of X will be left after the reaction and 1.5 moles of product will be formed. Okay, so see here X is the limiting reagent. This is not correct. Okay, because Y is the limiting reagent. 1.5 moles of product is formed. This is correct. 1.5 moles of excess reagent is left behind. This is also correct. Okay. So students, I hope this is clear to all of you. Okay. So that's all. This is last question. That's all. Thank you.